My name is Jennifer Elliott, and I'm an educator here at the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum. And today, we'll be talking about the Gemini space program.
The Gemini space program was named after the constellation Gemini, the Greek constellation of the twins. It was so named because it was the first NASA program to carry 2 astronauts into space at one time.
Not a lot of attention is given to the Gemini space program. It's kind of like the Jan Brady of NASA's early missions. It didn't have the prestige of being the first to the moon, or even the first orbiter, but what it did have was an abundance of newly developed technology that would enable man to travel further and longer into space. NASA's goal was always to put a man on the moon, but to do this, they had to overcome huge technological hurdles. At the time, technology limited a man to only days in space, and no one had traveled beyond. Gemini pioneered deep space travel and developed programs to enable humans to spend extended time in zero-gravity environments. This was paramount to get to the moon. Another Gemini innovation was that of docking in space. As a spacecraft prepares for different parts of a mission, the vehicle changes orientation. Take, for instance, when the astronauts descended onto the moon's surface. The landing craft needed to break away from the main craft, land, complete its mission, and reconnect with the orbiting craft. This was all perfected during the Gemini program. Because of the vacuum of space, an astronaut needs to take his or her own safe environment with them. This is even more so when they have to leave their craft. They need to have air to breathe and cool temperatures to work in. The Gemini program developed the early spacesuits that would allow man to work in this very hostile environment and even walk on the moon. A little fun fact, during one of Gemini's missions, astronauts John Young and Gus Grissom smuggled a corned beef sandwich on board. When they started to eat the sandwich in zero gravity, crumbs filled the craft and made a huge mess. This is why it's rumored that all missions to space now use tortillas and not bread.
The Intrepid Museum has a special place in its heart for the Gemini space program, as it served as the primary recovery vessel for the 1965 Gemini 3 mission. And while at the museum, be sure to check out a replica of the Gemini space capsule and get a feel for life in space.
While Gemini doesn't get as much press as, say, the Apollo missions, it will go down as one of the most important because of the innovations it developed. On behalf of our education team, thanks for watching. Keep experimenting and exploring, and be sure to visit us online at intrepidmuseum.org.